What's up? My name is Fitz, for those of you new to the channel. So today I'm going to talk about something that I know is going to make a lot of people mad, but I don't care. Okay, I don't care. But before we get into it, make sure you hit that like button, comment, subscribe, all that great stuff. So today I'm going to be talking about racism, and I'm going to be using an analogy to explain why I think racism is just a crutch that many black people use and make excuses for because they actually don't want to put the work in. So here we go. The way I see racism is like a house fire. Okay? Imagine you're in your house and you're chilling and you're cooking some food on the stove. You step away, you go to the living room, you're watching some TV, and you smell a little bit of smoke, right? And you go into the kitchen and you realize the food has caught on fire, right? Not the whole house isn't on fire, just the food. And so at this point, you have a couple options. If you don't want to burn down with the house, you can decide to leave the house, and even if the house catches on fire, you don't burn down with it and you don't die. Or the fire is so small, you can put the fire out. You can actually manage the fire and save the home, right? Here's where I think many people behave when it comes to racism. Instead of exercising those two options, they go sit down on the couch and they say, there's a fire in the house, and because there's a fire, aka a problem, that means I'm helpless. I can do nothing. So they sit on the couch, and soon the fire spreads from the kitchen to the dining room to the living room where they are at, and they burn down with the house. This is what happens with racism. You see, racism is like that fire in the house, right? It's that small fire. And although it is a problem, it is not as if you don't have options. And so let's be practical. When it comes to racism, if racism is that small fire and you can choose to do things to put it out or get out the house so you don't burn down with the ship, right? When it comes to racism, many people will choose to stay in the house and let it burn them with the house because they don't want to admit or they don't want to put the work in to get out of the house or to put the fire out, right? Racism is that small fire because let's be real, there's nothing that you want to do that racism is stopping you from actually doing. And when we get down to it, many people who claim that racism is holding them back, I would argue, have not even put in the minimum amount of effort to succeed, let alone put in the effort that the actual winners in that field of study, in that genre, in that arena are putting in, right? And so I like to think of racism as a house burning down. Are you going to sit in the living room and burn down with the house? Would that be smart? Especially if you're aware of the fire? Or are you going to do things to overcome the obstacles so you don't burn down with the house? Here's another argument that I'll make. If you are somebody who believes that racism is holding you back, then you should be taking more focused effort to achieve your goals. So the more you believe racism is an obstacle, the more focused effort you should be taking to achieve your goals. But if you're somebody who believes that racism is holding you back at a high level and you're not taking focused effort at a high level, then you're gonna get the results of a loser. And it's only going to reinforce your belief that racism was the problem. But here's the thing. Let's say I'm wrong. Let's say racism is all encompassing and it's really something that's holding you back. Do you think that you're going to be farther in life or behind in life if you work harder, right? Like if I'm wrong and you put all this work and all this effort in and did all this stuff, do you think you're going to be further because of that effort or behind where you would have been if you didn't do any of that. Because I think you'll be further. Even if racism is all encompassing and you put in effort and you're learning skills and all these other things, you're going to be further. That's just how, even if you're not making as much as other groups of people, you're still going to be making more than you would have been making. You're still going to be a better father, a better husband, a better human being, because you're challenging yourself. And this is where I just disagree fundamentally with the people that are saying that racism is holding them back. And so let me know what you think. That's just